Hi, my name is Emma Daley. I co-founded Consent Beyond Yes, which is a worker co-op based here in Greenfield. We provide education, consulting, and coaching around sexual consent. We are driven by a belief that learning about consent should make people feel more empowered in their relationships, not more afraid of sex. The Me Too movement brought much needed, much overdue attention to sexual harassment and assault, but it's also created a lot of fear. Fear of becoming a victim or a perpetrator or of getting canceled. Listening to most of the messaging out there, you would think that the purpose of consent is just to avoid something terrible happening. We know consent can be much more than that. At Consent Beyond Yes, we make it a creative, joyful, relational process because focusing on what we want works better than focusing on what we don't want. And better consent makes for better sex. Several things set us apart as leaders in the field. First, we shift from a paradigm of consent as permission to one of mutual desire. Think about it. If someone gives you permission to kiss them, but then they don't kiss you back, it's going to be weird. We show this with a Venn diagram. If these are the things person A wants to do with person B, and these are the things person B wants to do with person A, they're going to have the best time if they do something in this overlap area. We call this the Venn vagina. You're going to remember it. Second, a lot of talk about consent suggests there's a binary between consent and rape. And even as the culture has shifted from no means no to yes means yes, there's still this black and white picture where you either have consent or you don't, and if you're not really careful, you might slip over that line. But not everything fits into those two boxes, and this leaves people confused about how to think about their experiences, and it invites arguing and blame. We think reality looks more like this spectrum. A spectrum better represents the complexities of real life, and it also maps the way to getting more of what we want. Here, basic consent is just the baseline. Beyond that is great sex, and as we move toward great sex, we move away from non-consensual interactions, and we don't have to worry as much about boundaries being crossed. You can see here, right, if you're aiming for green and you miss, you end up in red. But here, if you aim for green and you miss, you probably aren't going to hurt anybody. You can just have totally ethical, mediocre sex. Sometimes, though, boundaries do get crossed. And when they do, we take a transformative justice approach to handling it. We want to live in a world where everyone is treated with dignity and respect, and everyone includes even people who don't know how to do that yet. But this isn't just ideological, it's also more effective. Transformative justice is about changing the conditions that led to the harm in the first place. If we punish people for not already knowing better, they don't learn and culture doesn't change. Next, we bring embodied, experiential approaches to learning. I have a master's degree in somatic or body-based counseling, and we use that to help people build self-awareness and connect with their bodies and their desires. This also means we embrace nonverbal communication and teach people to use it. Finally, our work is trauma-informed. We recognize social marginalization and oppression as real forms of trauma, and we teach about how that can impact the practice of consent. Everywhere we present workshops, we get feedback that we're doing something different, valuable, even life-changing. After every workshop, we ask participants to fill out evaluations, and 93% of people who respond say they feel more comfortable approaching consent conversations as a result of the workshop. Consent Beyond Yes is explicitly inclusive of identities that are often left out of consent and sex education, like non-binary genders, polyamory, kink, asexuality. We've even heard from people with some of these identities that ours was the first consent or sex-related workshop where they felt truly included.
To learn more, check out our Instagram page, come to one of our workshops, or book a free consultation with us. You can find all of that in the links below. Thanks for watching.